Think simple, okay? Now I'm going to talk about networking. Okay? Networking. Now, in the networking also, I have many assignments for you. What assignment? So see, here I'm trying to help you with the AWS. I'm not teaching you networking. But as I said, you need to know the storage technology. You need to know networking as well. So networking fundamentals, you need to be a little bit clear about it. And this will definitely help you in going further in DevOps. So let's discuss about the problems which we have now. So think in a simple way always. Don't get complicated your understanding with the complicated software engineering keywords. Here, this is the data center of AWS, one region, and you know that at least they will divide this region into the two part, and they call it ages. We know that we have discussed. Now, because I told you this networking is common for both the ages. So now this data center, do you have any idea how many accounts they have? 10 millions of accounts they have it, or maybe 1 millions of account, or 5 millions of account they have it. Just imagine there's one data center and they have so many accounts actually. So the question is, what is happening? It's not going. So many accounts they have in the one data center. Now let's say we have someone, Kavita, Paresh, Kavita and Paresh. Kavita, you came to Mumbai region only and you created a instance, EC2 instance, that means virtual machines. Paresh, you also came to Mumbai region and you created an instance. I also came to Mumbai region and I also created an instance. Now just imagine what will be the problem. This should not be accessing this. This should not be accessing this. This should not be accessing this. Correct now? Because we are in the same data center, but we all have to have a little bit of isolations actually. Are you understanding, all of you? Yes. So
Yes.
for the challenge for AWS, how do they create isolations for the millions of users, not one and two, millions of users? This is something is been done by any ISP provider also. Let's say any ISP provider which they have internet for you, right? They provide an internet for you. Have you ever thought about it? How they create, how they share one line of internet, they have only one cable coming to your locality, and then they empower thousands of houses. Have you ever thought about it? And each houses, no one can contact to each other. That means, let's say I am having Wi-Fi, you are my neighbors, let's say, and you are also you got the internet from the Geo in India, and I also got the internet from the Geo in India. We are neighbor. I cannot talk to your laptop, you cannot talk to my laptop. Have you ever thought about it, how they create isolation? So guys, this whole world is filled with a small network. We call it LAN, and then multiple LANs come together and create a WAN and something like that. I'm sure you might have studied this one in colleges and all, right? And after that also LAN, man and all. So same thing AWS is doing also. What they did, they have a one data center, is a large network, but they create isolations. So that means they created, this is the ages 1, right? And this is ages 2. They create a network for each user. So you can create as many users, you can create as many network. So here network, my network I'm drawing between the ages actually, across the ages. See, so now if I have a one machine here and one machine here, they can talk to each other, there is no problem here. But if this machine is in the different network, then this guy cannot talk to each other directly. So this is the network isolations they created, virtual network isolation they created. Everyone is doing the same thing. AWS is doing the same thing. Your internet provider is doing the same thing for you. I know. So it's the whole world is divided into the multiple small network, and these all are connected through the bridge or router and stuff like that. So you cannot talk to each other without routing rules or something like that. Are you understanding? Able to understand at a large picture? All of you?
Yes.
So guys, what to do now? So we have to create a network. So what we call in AWS, we call it a VPC, Virtual Private Connect. When you create a VPC, you do have to create subnet. You do have to create a route table. You do have to create network internet gateway, IGW. You do have to have a NAT gateway. You do have to have many other component also. You need to have all this thing. But let me show you some of this stuff. Cancel this. Go to the services. Do networking here, and here you have a VPC. And look at the left side. VPC, subnets, route table, internet gateway, elastic IPs, endpoints, securities, network analysis, DNS firewall, network firewall, VPN, WAN, gateways for the tangent and all, everything. Lots of things are here. Lots of things are here. So just said it's ocean actually. Every networking solution which you may think of it, and which any network expert may think of it, you have it here. We'll go with the basics one later. So how do we create a network? So this is the network, the one which I'm showing you, drawing the pictures. Somewhere I lost it, I guess. Somewhere I draw the picture. Yeah, so here it is. So this network is one network, second network, third network. This is something which we have to understand. So let's understand that in a simple image. I'll just outsource one image, VPC, and one simple image I'll take it from here. And I think this is the most simplest one, I guess. Yes, I'm not complicating your understanding initially. It's a very simple image actually. So what is happening? So I'll just snip it actually, so it'll be easy to draw a picture. So here, this is your network. Look at this, VPC. And in the VPC, they have divided into the two small network again, subnet. We call it subnet. There's one subnet here, and there's one subnet here. Now the question is why they call it a public and why they call it private. Simple. The theory is the subnet which is hosting the VM, which has an internet access, that's called public subnet. The subnet which is hosting the EC2 instance, and this EC2 instance have a no internet, that is called private subnets. Understood, all of you? Hello?
Yep.
So public subnet, the EC2 instance will have internet, private subnets will have no internet. So the question is from where the internet is coming. So see, this is the whole, this is world actually. And from the world, they connect to the internet gateway. So that's what we call it, internet IGW. You have to have it created. It's a paid service. And from the internet gateway, all the traffic will be sent to the router. What is a router then? So router is basically routing rules. It will receive the traffic from one place and send it to another place. Okay. So routing rules, you'll write, okay, all the traffic, all the internet which is coming, it should go and to the public subnet. And you should not go to private subnet. So like that. Okay. So here you create a VPC, you create a subnet, public subnet, you create a private subnet, you create a route table, you create an internet gateway. All these components, that's what I was talking about. It's a basic one, by the way. You have many other components also. I'm not complicating. There's one NAT gateway which I said. So if you want internet in a private subnet, but not through the routing, so what to do? You have to set up a network gateway, internet gateway, a NAT gateway. Sorry, NAT gateway. Okay, NAT gateway. So this will get the internet from. You have to set up a NAT gateway here in the public subnet. So in the public subnet, anyways, the internet is coming, and from the internet here to here, it will be passed, not through the routing table directly. So there's a lots of things are there. So how do we create all these things? So I have assignments for you. You need to go and just research before getting into the VPC. You need to understand that what is subnet meaning. This is not something AWS is driving. Route table, what is this? What is internet gateway? So these are all the global keyword in the networking domain. Okay. So how do we create a networking? So let me show you here. Go to the AWS. And you see that VPC I have 1, NAT gateway I have a 0, subnets I have 3. So these are the things. So this is the VPC. If I look at this, is a default VPC. You know, guys, I must tell you here. First time when you created an instance, actually, knowingly, unknowingly, you created in this network, the one which I did in the first half. Actually, but this is a default network. That means every time you create a new account, and for each region they'll have a one default network, so you can start using directly that EC2. Ease of using, actually they create a one network services is free except some of them. So let me remind you one more time. So let's go to AWS, and here create a EC2 instance, and here you create a more instance and launch instance. And if you see that here, networking settings, okay, and if you see that here, see here, correct? Default. So earlier I ignored it, but now you will edit this. But first let's create it. So let's create a VPC. So I'm creating through the widget actually. So go to the dashboard and create a VPC. And now what you want to create? VPC only or VPC and more? Of course VPC and more. I want to create everything. So here they have a name of your VPC, CID range, tenancy, how many availability zone you want to create. So 2, 3, whatever you want to. How many subnets you want, public subnets, 2. How many private subnets, 2. And do you want NAT gateway? It's a chargeable actually. Dollar means chargeable. So right now I don't want NAT gateway, VPC endpoints. Okay. And then I said none. And then can you see this image, all of you? See here. So if you see that VPC, how many subnets you have? 2 subnets in AJ1, AJ2. Now this subnet is getting internet from the route table which is here, and you see the internet gateway is coming from there. Here this is a public subnet. So that's the reason you see the internet is coming from the internet gateway which is here. And but this one you see it's not getting internet actually because it's a private subnet. So private subnet is not getting internet. See, this is the private subnet is not getting internet. So this is the visualizations and create it. It will take few seconds and done. So here you have created and then view VPC. Here. So now how many VPC you got? This is the one I created. Now it seems like it's very easy work, but if you manually do that, creating each and every component for certification purpose, it's going to do lots of learning experience. Understood how to create a VPC, all of you? So here you create a VPC.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.